Coming up on this wet and wild edition of Don't Panic, we're going to be talking about the ocean. That's right, the big blue body of water that covers most of our planet. We're going to be rapid fire style going through a number of things about the ocean. I'm not even going to preview any of them because Matt and I haven't even talked about our list. It could be literally anything. It's going to be an exciting one. I hope you stick around because we're going to start Don't Panic right now. You're entering the Goldilocks Zone, episode number 14, recorded June 2nd, 2015. The one about the ocean. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of Don't Panic. Don't Panic. Oh my God, I'm out of my. I'm so used to doing it. I'm so embarrassed. I just did this last night. Oh my God, rewind the tape.
You did it during the intro as well.
Did I say it?
You did. You said you called it Don't Panic, and I was like, I'm not panicking. But
I didn't even realize.
The Goldilocks Zone.
Oh my God! All right. You know what we're going to do? This will be fun. I'm going to cut the tape, but I'm going to leave this in. So let's rewind the tape, and we're going to do it again. How does that sound? You all get to see our lovely mistake. So here we go. Take 2. Coming up on this episode of The Goldilocks Zone, we're getting wet and wild with our discussion about the ocean. That's right, that big blue body of water that covers most of this planet. We're going to be talking rapid-fire style about a lot of different things involving the oceans. What will they be? I don't even know. Matt and I have our separate lists. We're going to combine them. It's going to be a blast. Who knows how it'll end up? It's definitely the Goldilocks Zone, and we're for sure going to start it right now. You're entering the Goldilocks Zone, episode number 14, recorded June 2nd, 2015. The one about the ocean. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of the Goldilocks Zone. So close, but I got it this time. For take 2, I'm Sean Jennings, and I am joined by Big Blue himself. It is Mr. Matt Mariani. Sir, how are we doing this evening?
Not panicking, Sean. Don't worry.
I'll do all the panicking for the both of us.
My name is Mr. Goldilocks, and this is the Don't Panic Zone.
I could have called you Colby Rabidou and Dan Miller.
With my good friend Colby Jennings.
Oh my God, I'm so in a funk. It's like, apparently 2 podcasts is too many. So, but close enough. This is the Goldilocks Zone, the podcast that will talk about basically anything. And this week we have got a fun topic. I know you've been wanting to do this for a while. I love when we did this on the breakfast 2-parter, which I thought was great, where we just kind of pick like something very nebulous and like nitpick all the little parts of it rapid fire. I love it. It's a lot of fun. Yeah. And hopefully you guys out there agree and enjoy it as well. This week, the ocean. Matt, what attracted you to talking about the ocean?
Well, Sean, I mean, summer is upon us. There are many of us who really enjoy going to the beach and the shore during the summer. I myself would consider myself a beach goer. I love the beach. I love oceans. I've always loved oceans and reading about creatures that you might find in an ocean or beneath the waves. And I wanted to talk about some things that might be overrated about the ocean. But at the same time, in this way, we can appreciate the things that are underrated about her majestic waters.
And we're going to have some opinions, and I guarantee, Matt, we are not going to agree on a lot of these.
I don't think we'll agree on any of them.
All right, that's bold. That's bold, but...
Let's face it, Sean, we're from 2 different oceans. You're from the Massachusetts Ocean. I like to consider myself from the New York metro area ocean.
Opposites attract, Matt. What are you going to do? Well, before we get to that, we got some housekeeping we got to do. First of all, everyone out there, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you. We do this every week at our website, GoldilocksShow.com, and now on SoundCloud at SoundCloud.com/GoldilocksShow. You should definitely check it out there. On the site, GoldilocksShow.com, are links to all our social media accounts and where you can subscribe, including on iTunes and via the RSS. We're on YouTube at Goldilocks Show on Twitter as well. So follow us in all the places, Goldilocks Show at Gmail. I'll remind you all again at the end of the show in case you forget. Part 2, last week's question, Matt. Last week, I thought we had a terrific show. I was much more lucid. And we talked about wacky sports from around the world. We talked about a pretty good number of them. There was a caber toss. We talked about
Botaoshi.
Botaoshi, Sepak Takraw. We talked about Quidditch. I thought it was a pretty great list. But the question last week was, which of the discussed sports would you be best at? And I will volunteer to go first on this one, because usually I don't have an answer and I make you go first because I read the question. But I'm not going to do that this week. Of the sports we talked about, and I think, it was those 4 in ear pull.
Yes.
The super disturbing.
I tried to forget about that one.
Yes. Which would I be best at? I am going to say... I think it's a really tough decision because none of these sports really, not that I'm athletic, but even if I were athletic, they're very kind of, you look at caber toss, which is about heavy things. You look at Botaoshi, which is sort of about just sort of physical pushing and pulling. Sepak Takraw, which is kind of fast and nimble. And Quidditch, which is for drunk college students. I guess I'm going to go with Quidditch, simply because it's so easy. Literally anyone can do it. The rules are ill-defined. There's essentially no governing body. It really doesn't matter who wins because it's not a real sport, unlike the other ones that actually are. All of them are heavily rooted in history except for Quidditch. So I'm going to go for the easy one. I'm going to take Quidditch. Matt,
some good distinctions. I wish we had brought those distinctions up in the show last week. But, I guess it's good that we bring them up now.
Better late than never.
Yeah. Of all the ones that we mentioned, I think that I would probably be the best at... I would probably go with Botaoshi, but I would put myself in a supervising role.
The coach?
So I wouldn't have
That's cheating.
Actually do the Botaoshi. Is that cheating? Do I have to come up with a new one?
Boo.
I can't believe I came up with this question. Okay, I guess fine. I'll go with Quidditch also because it seems the least dangerous of all the sports we named.
If I had like unlimited athletic ability and had to do one of these sports,
raw.
Yes, exactly. You are
that's
correct,
an awesome
sir.
One. Yeah.
And then my second would probably be caber toss, which I think is
both of my legs
cool.
function correctly, I would go with Sepak Takraw, but
yes.
they don't. So
man, you would get so laid. The ladies love that kind of stuff. That's great.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm in favor. All right, good. I'm glad we got that out of the way. Sports we will never play. Very good. We've got to move on though because we've got the oceans to talk about. Again, we're doing this rapid fire style. If you didn't catch our previous episodes, the way this works, Matt and I, we're going to try and get through, I think when we did breakfast, we got between 10 and 15 an episode. Individual areas. We're going to say over, under, appropriate for each, a couple sentences, but we're going to move through them in the time allotted. We each have our list. There might be some overlap. We're going to just go one at a time and do these. And since it is your topic, Matt, I will let you go first.
Okay.
What is our first topic of discussion?
The first topic of discussion, Mr. Sean, it's going to be a little bit of a curveball. I'm going to go ahead and say starfish.
Okay, the animal.
Okay, are you ready? The creature, starfish.
All right, are you going to go first?
Yes, I would like to go first. Okay, because I think I have a pretty good thing here.
Okay, go for it.
I said that starfish are highly overrated. And I'll tell you why they're overrated. Starfish are overrated because they don't really do anything, but cause havoc to our ecosystem. All right, starfish, I guess a lot of people really like them because they can regenerate limbs. Another interesting fact about starfish is that one starfish appears in the cartoon SpongeBob SquarePants as SpongeBob's best friend / neighbor. But other than that, I can't really tell you a redeeming thing about starfish. You can't eat them. You can eat them, but I don't really know of any significant culture or society that does, on a regular basis, eat starfish. Although I guess it is an untapped delicacy. I wonder what it would taste like. But still, the thing about the starfish is that they are destroying the coral reefs. Now, you may see some video footage of this. What happens is they go to the coral reefs and they eat all of the good bacteria that live on the coral reefs, and this destroys them. And that's pretty much all that starfish do. I also hear that they might like to be named sea stars. Have you heard of this controversy?
I have not. I have not. Is that one of those like regional things?
Yeah, well, no, apparently they're not actually a fish, so their
Oh, that's
proper
fair.
name would be sea star. But then it lends yourself to the question, like, if they're not going to identify themselves as a fish, then what are they going to identify themselves as? I guess as a sea star,
Well,
right? But
and-
what is that?
And if you're going to be that picky and say they're not fish, well, stars aren't shaped with 5 points either, so you really can't call them stars.
No, then
You
they're
know?
not stars. They're not fish.
Don't be that
So,
picky. Jeez,
Looks like we
people.
have an identity crisis on our hands.
That is lame.
And all I'm saying to the sea star community is, please, you got to identify yourself as one thing. Yeah, see, there they are now. Look at them.
That is
What a
if you're,
strange shape.
if
When
you're
you think
watching
about it.
the video, you're seeing the tube feet of the starfish
If-
as it's moving.
The thing is about if you know if we didn't have that design of like what we would consider a star,
Mhm.
those things would look so weird. If we didn't automatically associate it as a star, it would just look so strange to us. This
Mhm.
five-pointed creature in the ocean. I don't
So-
know, Sean. What are your thoughts?
So you're saying overrated. I am going to say slightly underrated. I really, generally, I would like a fourth category if I don't care, and I know that's kind of terrible, but I'm really very indifferent on starfish. If I have to pick, I'm going to say a little underrated. I'm going to go the opposite. First of all, you mentioned limb regeneration and the fact that they can shed limbs as defense to get away from predators. That's pretty cool. Not many creatures do that, so I'm ups for that. Overall, they're just kind of weird. Like, they don't really do anything. They're kind of gross if you were watching the video a minute ago with their little suction cup legs, and they're very just kind of odd. And I don't know. I sort of like we talk about, well, they're stars, wink, wink, what's a star? But I kind of like that fun, whimsical aspect. I think kind of there are other sea creatures that have this going on, but just starfish is just sort of fun and mystical and sort of, I don't know. There's a lot more boring stuff going on in the ocean, and I think if you're going to ding something, ding some of the lamer stuff. Like a sea cucumber. Like, that sucks. Like, nobody likes the sea cucumber. At least the starfish is kind of fun and weird and interesting, and you can collect them or, buy them at souvenir shops or eat them, or I don't know.
Have you ever
I
eaten
think
the starfish?
they're fun. No, I haven't. It's mainly in like China and Japan and things like that.
What do you think it would taste like? Just curious.
Matt, I can certainly ask Wikipedia.
You think
let's
they would
see.
say something like that on Wikipedia? My guess, I'm just gonna take a wild guess, is I think that the starfish would probably taste just slightly different than maybe like some kind of combination between a squid and a clam.
I
my
will
guess.
take your word for it because I don't
think
have
it's,
the
it would have like
faintest
a
idea.
mollusky taste,
I couldn't tell you.
probably
alright.
really chewy.
Probably gross and they look like they'd be gross to eat, so I'll just go with that. All right, very good. Well, let's continue on. It's my pick next. I've got a pretty good list here, and I want to talk about waves.
Waves,
Tidal waves.
tidal waves, or just regular waves?
Well, waves caused by tides is really what I was getting at.
All right.
Caused by the moon's orbit around the Earth and the gravitational pull of that.
Can't
Waves
explain that.
Waves are underrated. Waves are awesome. If it weren't for waves, the ocean would just be a big lake, and it would suck, if you think about it. Like, yeah, it's salty, and yeah, there are more animals in it, and it's bigger, but really, the waves are what make it cool. Like, would you go to the beach if it didn't have waves? You'd be much less likely to go. That's a lot of the fun. Surfing wouldn't exist. Ships would move much more slowly. We have engines now, but imagine ships without waves. Like, they actually propel. Waves are really important to the ecosystem. And I think people just kind of assume the waves are just there and they don't think about them, but the ocean is like nothing without waves. The ocean is a giant bathtub without waves. Like, that's really what's cool about it. And the fact that it's caused by the moon is awesome. And I realize my whole argument on this is it's awesome, but it kind of is. Like, the waves can provide electricity through wave power. I mean, waves are kind of a cool, powerful force on Earth. We don't really, like the wind or something kind of cool like that. We don't really talk about it, but I think waves are underrated. I think people got to get on the wave bandwagon.
Wow.
Do I sound impassioned about waves?
You do. You sound pretty psyched about waves. And we're only on the second topic, and I'm agreeing with you already. It's not good. I mean, I don't have much bad things to say about waves, and I agree that they're underrated. Like, yeah, just think about what the ocean would be like if there were no waves. Yeah. Exactly. It would be like a giant bathtub.
It'd suck.
And I was trying to, like, as you were speaking, I was trying to formulate like a counter argument, like, the undertow. Yeah, well, I was thinking of undertow, and like that's really bad, but it's still not like an overrated thing. It's a very bad thing, but I think that there are a lot of people who are not aware of it, so that's why I think it's underrated. And I think that waves in general are underrated because, like you said, they provide a viable source of power. They are really fun to jump in. I think a lot of people probably wouldn't even go to the beach if it wasn't for waves. Mm-hmm. And also, that I was trying to think of an argument about surfing, and I was trying to say, well, surfing, but you could, like, some people could consider surfing overrated. I wouldn't be one of them. I've never been surfing. It looks kind of fun. Like, I'm kind of jealous of people who can surf. But then I would just be making an argument about surfing and not about waves themselves. Mm-hmm. Waves themselves are highly underrated.
Yeah, I agree. And waves at sporting events are also underrated.
Yes. Not enough. Not enough of this goes on. I feel like as the years go by, the wave is starting to dissipate.
Yeah, it's an old-timey sort of...
It is. I mean, it was pretty big in the 90s, I thought.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, man. We got to bring the wave back.
Yeah, I mean, if you go to a baseball game, you might be lucky if it happens once.
Mm-hmm. And almost never around the entire park. It's rare.
No,
so
that's a reason for a standing O if it makes it through the whole stands, through everybody.
Well, very good. Waves, underrated. Matt, you're up next. What are we going to talk about?
I'm up next, and we are going to talk about octopi.
Octopi, the plural of octopus. Matt, what's your go-to here?
All right, before I begin, I should preface that I have octopi and I have squids, both on the list. I think for time's sake, I'd like to combine the two, unless you have objection.
Approved.
Okay, good. I got your blessing. Okay. So the octopi/squid category, I say that they are highly, highly underrated. Little known fact, my favorite land animal is, of course, the elephant, the African elephant. But my favorite sea animal, unequivocally, is the octopus. And I'll tell you why.
Please do.
The octopus, believe it or not, some scientists believe to be the smartest creature besides humans. Tests have shown that octopi are able to distinguish one another's feelings and communicate with one another via pheromones, which I guess doesn't really apply much to intelligence, but I have it in the notes, so I just wanted to say. Another really cool fact about both octopi and squids is that they both actually, when they eat their food, they have a little beak on the bottom. If you imagine, like, an octopus is like, so the creature is up here, the beak is right down here. And not a lot of people know that. I think most people, when they think an octopus is eating, they think it just like kind of absorbs the food, but it breaks open the shell and it has like a beak. It eats almost like a bird. It's really cool because, like, when you look at an octopus, you don't expect a giant um, hard-shelled beak underneath it. Another fun fact about the octopus is that they have up to one octopus may have up to 6,000 suction cups on its tentacles. Another little known fact about this squid, the giant squid, is that the giant squid, there have only been 2 instances of the giant squid being captured on film, both of which were in the Sea of Japan. However, there are many Greek myths and as well as Scandinavian myths that report the myths involve the giant squid, or giant squid-like creature, which is remarkable considering that all 3 cultures are in, different parts of the world, different geographical regions, different climate zones, but they're all reporting that they're all agreed that this creature exists in their stories, at least. It's pretty cool. I mean, what the implications of that are, one can't really be sure, but one can speculate. Maybe sailors have seen these giant squids in the Western Hemisphere, or maybe the story just passed on through word of mouth. We don't know, but still, that's it's pretty cool, and that's why I think that the giant squid, regular squid, and octopi are all underrated.
All right, Matt. Let me tell you
Oh
why
wait,
you're
one
wrong.
more thing. I
Oh,
just want to
no.
throw in one
Okay.
more thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
One more thing. Also, the ink propulsion mechanism as a defense mechanism, really cool. There are no other creatures that do that. No other creatures actually shoot ink out besides octopi and squid, as a defense mechanism. Okay, go ahead.
Matt, let me tell you why you're wrong. Squid, octopi, whatever, overrated.
Wow.
Overrated. And here's why.
You're killing me.
It's because they're show-offs.
Show off.
Show-offs. 8 arms, 3 hearts, shooting ink, no bones, tasting through their suction cups. I mean, all this beaks. Like, who do they think they are to show off with all this ridiculous? Oh, we're so smart, we can pick the World Cup winner. Like, it's a baloney. They're full of themselves. I can change color to hide in my environment.
You know what? If you got it, flaunt it. If you got it, flaunt it.
No, that is absolute crap, because you don't need all of that. Like, do you need to shoot ink and change color? Like,
oh, hell yeah. If you got it, then you do it.
But that's just unnecessary, and they're showing off.
If I could shoot ink, I'd do it all the time.
But then why do they have to have a giant squid? Like, wasn't a regular squid enough?
No, giant squids are cool.
No, they're giant, Matt.
The eyeball of the giant squid is as big as a human baby. That's incredible.
Not very big. Babies are small, Matt.
No, a human baby is, but for the eye, just the eye is that big.
Yeah, but babies are small.
It's a huge eyeball. It's like the biggest eye in the world.
I just think it's lame. Whatever.
No, they're awesome. Octopi are awesome. Squids are awesome.
Matt, can I tell you a secret? I have to confess something.
You're actually a squid?
I'm just
squid this whole time.
Pull up my mask.
Damn it, I knew it. God, I knew it.
No. I agreed with you. I just thought we can't agree on everything, and I was worried. Yeah, they're pretty awesome. You're right.
I know.
Damn it.
You can't argue.
I hate when you're right. All right. God damn. All right. Let me. All right. So we're in agreement. Squid are great. Underrated. Let me try and find out. Okay. How about this? And this was suggested by notable podcaster Colby Rabideau. When I mentioned we were doing oceans, he wanted us to talk about this, okay?
Okay.
The Titanic.
Yeah.
Yes. Opinions on the Titanic.
Wow. Way overrated.
Way overrated.
Yeah.
I agree. Damn it, we can't. All right,
Oh,
how about
come on,
the
no.
movie Titanic?
Way overrated.
Oh my God!
No.
Shit. All right, then let's keep going here. How about mermaids? How about mermaids, Matt?
Mermaids are slightly underrated. Slightly underrated because I don't think most people understand the origin of
That's what
mermaids.
I was gonna say. Mermaids used to
crap.
be cool, and now they're
Come
really
on.
lame. Ah, shit.
Yeah.
All right, what else we can talk about here? I have giant squid on my list. Look at that. How about SpongeBob SquarePants?
SpongeBob SquarePants.
That's loosely related to the ocean.
That is very loosely related to the ocean. I think I would probably have to just say appropriate because can't hate on SpongeBob. At the same time, though,
Oh, you can hate on SpongeBob.
Well,
I'll hate on SpongeBob.
hate on him by all means. Jump in.
Bring
Hate.
it on. Listen, SpongeBob is like the lowest denominator of humor. And it like so when I think of like animated shows, I think of shows like going back a bit like your Rocko's Modern Life and your a little more current like your Adventure Time, shows that sort of have underlying tones and currents that a child on the surface wouldn't see, but then you go back and watch and you're like, wow, I can't believe that's what they were really talking about. Those are my favorite kind of shows. I feel like SpongeBob tries to do that, but never succeeds at it. Like, you always want to be like, there's got to be something more to this. And it's not. It's just a bunch of, like, really cheap jokes. Which I guess is okay if it's just a kid's show, but to put it on this level with some of the greatest animated shows ever made, I think is really unfair. It's really mindless. You know, I don't know. I don't think there's enough there to really give it the stand. That's why it's overrated. I think it's that there's just not enough substance. The fact that it's popular doesn't make it good. The fact that they've made a lot of it doesn't make it quality. It's just had more merchandising than any other show, you know? I don't think that's an indicator of quality. And for me, when I'm giving this over, under, appropriate, it's overrated. I don't know, Matt. What do you think?
I think the issue that you're having with SpongeBob is that you have to watch it from the perspective of like how old you were when it first came out. I think when it first premiered, we were probably like 12 or 13 maybe. I think for a 13-year-old, it's a hilarious show. I think it's mostly because of Patrick. I have to give Patrick a lot of credit. If Patrick wasn't in the show, the episodes he wasn't in were not that great.
But he's the dumbest character. That's the point.
That's the point, and that's what makes it so funny.
Listen, I can make a 13-year-old laugh. Like, I don't think that's hard.
It's not hard.
What's hard is to make them laugh and think, and this show does not do that. And maybe that's a hang-up for me and not for most people. Maybe most people just want to watch it and laugh at the dumb jokes, and maybe that's okay. I don't know. I don't agree with that.
I think the parts that make the kids laugh and think are the absurdities at life that SpongeBob. It's almost like Seinfeld, where it's like a comedy about nothing. Like just the most minute things could happen, but to SpongeBob and company, they become like these extraordinary feats. Like I remember one episode. It was completely centered around SpongeBob being late for work. He's very anxious and afraid of being late for work. The whole episode is him panicking because he's late for work, and then he shows up for work, and the Krusty Krab is closed for like fumigation or something. They have like under the sea roaches or something. So what they get at is, you know, maybe the kids are thinking, so perhaps I shouldn't be so worried about the little things in life. If I'm late to work, you know, once in a blue moon, Mr. Krabs won't fire me if I'm an exceptionally good fry cook. See, that's the thing, is that SpongeBob was an exceptionally good fry cook. So he was good at his job. So that's another thing that it's teaching the kids. Is if you're good at your job, then you're a valuable team member.
Honestly, Matt,
and you're not expendable.
I do not have a problem with the argument that SpongeBob is funny because it's funny and that's all it is. That's fine. If that's your argument and you want to enjoy it, great. I'm not going to.
I was trying to.
I know
come
you
up
were
with
trying to
something.
stretch it, and that's okay. That is okay. But it is not about deeper. It is not about teaching
Okay.
children that part-time
SpongeBob's
fry cook
definitely-
jobs are great.
SpongeBob's definitely not as good as Rocko's Modern Life or even Adventure Time. Any other show that makes you think.
Yeah.
Like
But
that.
it's funny. But it's funny. The other problem, too, for me with SpongeBob is it's got that been on too long problem where
Yeah,
it's
I agree
overkill.
with that.
It should have
It's been on
stopped.
way too long.
I
I mean, I haven't watched it in years, but any
enough
show
is enough.
that's on that long has overstayed its welcome.
Yeah, and then the characters become caricatures of themselves, and it's, I don't know, it's kind of old
Yeah.
hat. So, all right, see, good, we disagree on something.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, Matt, do you have something on your list we could?
Yes, I do have something on my list. Next on my list, okay, we'll skip that one. I had shipwrecks, but we kind of covered that with Titanic, didn't we?
Well, I guess Titanic is. I just can you have an opinion about shipwrecks? I mean, they're bad because they wrecked.
No, they're good because there could be treasure in them.
But it's bad because all those people died.
But they might have had treasure. I'm
But
talking
they
about
probably
100
didn't.
Shipwrecks that are like thousands of years old, by the way.
Well, I okay. Are you going to be that specific?
Yes.
Okay, how about this? How about because I actually had on my list sunken treasure.
Okay, that's even better.
Overrated.
It's overrated?
Overrated. I'm going to
No.
go there.
Nope, under.
Yep.
I'm going to say it's underrated.
Okay, go ahead, Matt. Why is it underrated?
Sunken treasure is underrated. Well, no, first you tell me why it's overrated.
You just want to kind of wreck my points.
Yes.
No, listen, sunken treasure is overrated. A couple points. One, way too hard to get. Buried treasure, much easier to get. You just follow a map and you're there. Sunken treasure, oh my god, you need like a goddamn submarine to get it. Like, way too impractical, right? Second of all, rare and difficult to get in general. I think that's true of most hidden treasures. I feel like the deeper you go in the ocean, the more rare it is. And they have curses on the treasure. If you find it, you will be cursed by whoever it was in the boat that sank with it.
But
And,
who's to say that the buried treasure doesn't have curses attached to it?
you know what, Matt? I think that's a fair point. No no hidden treasure at all. Avoid treasures.
No hidden treasure at
No
all?
hidden treasures.
What is the point of life if you can't stumble
it's
upon
not,
a hidden
Matt,
treasure?
It's not worth the gypsy curse that will be put on you, and send you to Davy Jones' locker. So,
No.
no,
I'm a treasure seeker. I have treasure seeking in
absolutely
my
not.
life.
And I don't think it ever pans out. Like all the time, I'm like, oh, some guy found an old ship and it had like 5 bottles of scotch from 1500, and I'm like,
But yeah, that's bottles of scotch from 1500.
But-
you know how old
but-
that is? That's
and
so
he
good.
spent like $10 million getting those 5 bottles because
That's
you have to get
totally
like a
worth it.
ship and a crew and like it. There's no way it pans out. You have to be a billionaire to do it.
Yeah.
Um.
Or be hired by a billionaire.
Oh, so you want to be the renegade adventurer type who is an expert in the field and gets hired. But then you don't get the treasure. The billionaire gets the treasure. You just found it. Is
Not
it-
if you take the treasure for yourself and move to a different country with
Oh.
the treasure. And then you
With-
spend all the gold to become a billionaire yourself.
With the female scientist you met, and in the end you have to
The
confront the
attractive
billionaire
female
who's the
scientist.
bad guy,
Yes.
who's really the reincarnated pirate who lost the treasure
Yes.
and is trying to get
Plot
it
twist.
back. I'd watch that movie.
Yes. And then in the end, you fight a dragon.
Okay, all right.
But it's an underwater dragon.
All right, slow down, buddy. I think a giant squid, maybe?
Oh my god, even better.
All right.
Giant squid.
So anyway, that's why I think treasure's overrated, Matt. Anything you'd like to add as to why it's underrated?
It's underrated because have you ever found hidden treasure?
No, I haven't.
Neither have I.
Okay.
But that's why it's underrated. It's like the experience of finding hidden treasure is a memory that you'll cherish for a lifetime. And it's
Matt, it's a fleeting high. You'll just want to get more.
exactly. and then it'll pursue it'll lead you on a quest for treasure all over the world. You'll get to see things you've never seen before. You'll get to experience new tastes, new sounds, new sights.
So you want the movie version of Finding Treasure, not the real life version, and that's okay.
Yeah.
That's,
yeah, I do.
I think that's.
the movie
I
version.
want the movie version. Like
Yeah,
that's
that's underrated because I don't think you know how awesome that would be.
I want Nicolas Cage and National Treasure style.
None of
Yes.
that.
Yes.
None of that.
Yes,
None
but
of
in the ocean.
Putting the lemon juice on the on the Constitution.
Yes. But on the ocean. Yes.
No, in the ocean.
Yes. No,
I want the Indiana Jones stuff.
Indiana Jones, but in the
Yeah.
ocean. Why did it have to be squids? Yes, that's great. No, I agree. In that respect. But yes, no, it's I don't know. Too much of a hassle, Matt. Too much of a hassle.
Underwater Nazi base.
Oh my god. We need to do one whole episode where we just write a movie.
Yeah.
We just spitball ideas and come up at the end with a treatment for a movie.
Yeah.
We'll have to.
We could do that.
And we know a friend who is an expert in screenwriting.
Yes, we do.
We maybe she'll be interested in coming on and helping us out.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
We'll have to write that one
Make
down.
a movie, and then we could have the whole taping of our podcast could be like part of the bonus features of the DVD when it comes out.
When we're rich and famous and successful. When we
Yeah.
use the buried treasure to fund our movie project.
Well, see, at the end of the movie, I think the buried treasure should actually be in the hearts and minds
Yes.
of every adventure seeker.
He opens the box and it's just a note. The real treasure is in your heart.
Has been in you the whole time.
Yep.
And
And
he
then
makes out with the incredibly attractive, but also
when rain
smart
is falling down.
archaeologist that he's been with the whole time. Yeah.
And audiences leave the theaters disappointed. Very good. Matt, any you have another one on your list for us, perhaps? I can go to my list.
No, I'll pull out another one. I'd like to go with I'd like to go with. Okay, I said islands,
That's not the ocean. That's
which is
land.
not really the ocean, but yeah, that's land. But it's surrounded by ocean.
Okay, then do you want to talk about the ocean surrounding islands?
No,
Okay.
I'd like to talk about whirlpools instead.
Whirlpools.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. It's kind of like the extreme version of tides,
Yes.
where they will suck
Well,
you
I think
down.
undercurrent is probably the extreme
On-
version of tides.
Yeah, but what's an extreme undercurrent?
Like, I guess a whirlpool.
Maybe I don't know where whirlpools come
I
from.
don't know if you can get. I think undercurrents are pretty much the extremist. Like
where-
that's the.
Where do whirlpools come from?
That's a good question. It's also a question that I did not look up before coming on the show.
Whirlpools in oceans are usually caused by tides.
Oh, okay. So we learn something new every day. So it's like the tides. The tides are sort of like fighting each other. Like one tide is moving in one direction, the other tide is shifting in the other direction.
Kind of like a tornado. It's the same idea where you have the two wind masses coming together.
Yes.
It's probably the
Oh,
same
it's
with the tides.
Yeah.
But according
Okay.
to Wikipedia, Wikipedia says, quote, "The vast majority of whirlpools are not very powerful."
Oh, good.
And
good.
they're rare, at least in the ocean. In
They
ponds
terrify me.
and lakes, they're more common.
Ponds and lakes.
Yes.
Yeah, that would make more sense because the current has a better chance of being more powerful if there's less water to manipulate.
Well, I guess in this case, then they're overrated.
Yeah, they
Okay.
would be overrated.
Yeah, I mean, they exist, and they were probably dangerous to like Vikings and small wooden boats, but really today, I don't think there's really any threat posed to humanity by whirlpools.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Well, since that went over in a big shit basket, can I pick another
Of
topic?
course.
I would like to go ahead and say, let's do let's do tsunamis.
Well, all right.
Since
Yeah, I guess it's
we're on the topic of
loosely. So now, are we going to do just tsunamis or?
yeah,
Okay. Yes. No, you're right. Tsunamis, which are really caused by earthquakes.
yes, but it's ocean water.
Yes. Do you have an opinion on
They're terrifying.
tsunamis?
But I would have to say definitely underrated.
I agree.
Because
They're big and powerful.
they're tragic.
Yes.
They cause a lot of destruction.
Is a major force of nature.
Yeah, and I think up until like recently, they didn't get much recognition because more they were pushed aside more for earthquakes and for tornadoes, especially in the United States.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely recently, it's almost like the tsunami is like it's become like the global catastrophe. You know?
And it is, if you really think about it. I mean, what other weather events are when there's an earthquake in California causes a tsunami in Japan? I mean, it really is a global event.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think it's come into its own recently because it's required so much cooperation and technology to predict and warn and create systems that when there is a seismic event, you can let people halfway around the world know it's happening. And I think that's recent. I think that's you're talking the last 40 years or so. So
yeah,
that's been a big change. But it's kind of amazing when you think about a tsunami versus, say, a hurricane or a cyclone or something like that. That they're dangerous, don't get me wrong, and they're very damaging, but that's really more of a wall of rain and wind. You can put plywood on your windows and hunker in your basement and you might be okay. A tsunami is a solid wall of water. It is much more difficult not only to survive, but to just avoid in general. You can't hunker down for a tsunami.
No,
because you will be wiped away. Yes, you have to.
And you don't have much. You don't even have much time to evacuate.
No, and that's the other thing too. Hurricanes take days to develop in the ocean.
Right.
A tsunami can be within hours. So it's a big difference. It's a much more dangerous storm.
Yeah, tsunamis are scary stuff.
And God forbid the Earth sees more and more seismic events, but you could certainly see more tsunamis happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, let's see how we're doing on time here. We are just about out of time. Matt, how many more do you have on your list you think would be worth talking about? Worth another episode?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I have some really good ones I was saving to the end, but yeah, we can talk about them next time because they're very good.
Okay. I think that sounds good. I'm looking forward to that. And of course, next week we're going to end the episode with the big question: oceans, over, under, or appropriate? As if you can have a single judgment. But we're going to try. So join us next week. We do part 2 of Oceans. If you have a suggestion for a topic you would like us to discuss, we want to hear it. We may not use it, but we want to hear it. At Goldilocks Show on Twitter or GoldilocksShow@gmail.com. Let us know, and we'll credit you by name on the show next week. Before we go, we have to do this week's question, which is... It's a long one, so buckle in. Astronauts have discovered a new ocean beneath the surface of Mars. What do you name this ocean? And what will it be like? What will its attributes be? What might live in it? Anything. What will it be like? Use your imagination. Let it run wild. We want to hear from you at Goldilocks Show on Twitter. Again, GoldilocksShow@gmail.com. Check that out. I'm going to have to think hard about that one. That's a real creative task we've set upon the viewers.
If possible, draw a picture.
Ooh.
Post it to Twitter.
How about this? First person to draw an artist illustration of what the ocean would look like and send it to us through Twitter, Gmail, whatever. I will send you a custom Goldilocks Zone product of your choice.
Okay.
I'm going to say cell phone case, but if you'd prefer, we can do keychains, buttons, a beach towel, T-shirt, apron. We can do all kinds. We can put our logo on anything, and we will do that for you. So first person to send that in. No, I don't know about that. Cutting boards. You would not believe the stuff. Lampshades. I mean, you can really put your logo on anything. It's pretty.
Beach umbrella.
Beach umbrella. I know regular umbrellas. I know beach umbrellas, but definitely yes. So, sky's the limit. Send that in to us, and first person to do that will get that. So,
Can we get them their very own Goldilocks submarine or submersible vehicle?
I will. How about this? When I send you your prize, I will draw a picture of a submarine
Okay.
with our logo on it, and you can have that, a Sean Jennings original.
Deal.
There you go. Now no one's going to enter. What was I thinking? So join us back here next week. GoldilocksShow.com is the website. And again, I'll remind everybody now on SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/GoldilocksShow. Probably between either this episode and the next one or the following two, I'm going to switch our RSS feed. So I will just say, do not worry. If you are listening...
Don't panic.
Don't panic. Yes, exactly. If you're listening via iTunes... you will not notice a change. It will fix itself automatically. If you're listening on other services, you might have a disruption, but I promise you will be kept in the loop as that happens. No one will be left out in the cold. So just look forward to that happening in the next couple weeks. Sound good?
Sounds great.
Outstanding, Matt. Anything else before we conclude?
I would have to say this statement from the film Waterworld by Kevin Costner. I think he says something along the lines of, the ocean is a cruel mistress. Treat her with kindness, and she will bear you fruit.
Did you just make that up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it might have been from Pirates of the Caribbean.
All right.
Something like-
Come on.
One of those ocean movies.
Actually, I'm gonna have to watch Waterworld.
Why? Why would you
I
ever
always
do
wanted to
that?
watch it. It's supposed to
No,
be terrible. You know,
it is
Kevin.
terrible.
You know, Kevin Costner had them go back and digitally lower his hairline in the movie after it was
Yeah,
shot.
I heard something.
He is a
like
crazy man.
that was a bad movie. Don't watch it.
I gotta go
Don't
watch
waste
it.
your time.
Got to be ready for next week's show when we do Oceans
God.
Part 2 on behalf of
Are we
Matt.
going to talk about Waterworld? Please don't talk. Let's not talk about Waterworld.
Well, Matt, I will tease on my list. I have a movie with ocean in the title. So,
Ocean's 11.
shit. Yeah, that's what it is. All right. Are there other movies with ocean in the title? There are other ocean movies, but none with ocean in the title.
Disney's Oceans.
That's true. I mean, there's a lot of like The Perfect Storm and Castaway, and there are lots of movies about oceans. But
The Ocean Maiden.
is that a movie? Again,
Nope.
did you just make that up?
That was the working title for The Little Mermaid.
Oh, see, that is we're full of fun facts.
No,
All right.
I made that up. That's
We're
not.
going to let you people at home go. Matt and I will continue to waste time off air. Thank you for joining us on behalf of Matt. I appreciate it, and we will see you guys next week on a brand new episode of The Goldilocks Zone.